Hey everyone. So I'm Jovi Marie, and I'm here with founder Delores King, Living Through the LenZ. And we're going to go a bit more in detail. Let's talk about it. The disclaimer first, of course. This live is based on personal experience. We are not medical professionals, and the content shared is not medical advice. Please talk to your doctor and with any medical concerns. Um, also be mindful if some of the stuff that we do talk about brings up any traumas or any concerns. Step away from the screen. You can come back
Yeah.
later because this is going to be recorded. Okay, so Miss Dolores King, take it away.
Hello, everybody. I'm glad you guys are with me, and I hope everybody can hear me. I know last week was terrible, and I apologize for that. I was trying to do it on my own, but that didn't work. But we're here today, and I want to kind of go over some of the stuff I talked about last week because you weren't able to hear me, and I think the content that I shared was very important. And what the topic is today is when family members don't understand the journey and the challenges of breast cancer survivors once the treatment has ended. I know for me personally, uh, it's hard. It's hard to talk about, it's hard to think about. So if you're going through that and you have someone taking care of you, just imagine what they're going through. As survivors, we always or almost all the time carry this emotional baggage, especially when the treatment ends. We're concerned about the reoccurrence. We're concerned about tests, what the results will say when we go back to the doctor. I mean, it's a lot. And I know we are concerned about our self image and our self confidence. Even though I'm 11 years in, that still bothers me sometimes. We need to transition our feelings, our emotions. We need to start telling our loved ones, our family members. We need to start communicating. I talk about communication a lot on this journey because that makes the difference. I know I didn't communicate well when I was diagnosed. And again, that was in 2014. When this is new to you, you really feel like nobody understands your journey. But we do understand. But we don't know what you need if you don't tell us. And especially your family members and caregivers that's taking care of you. Sometimes it's all right to be silent, and it all depends on the person that's caring for you. So don't feel bad if you don't have anything to say or if you just want to be there. But if you just want somebody there, you need to communicate that to them and say, hey, can you just sit with me? If you need somebody to go to the doctor with you, can you go to the doctor's appointment with me? Like I said before, even though they're at the doctor's appointment with you, maybe they don't know the lingo or the terminology that the doctor's using. And maybe you got not upset, but overwhelmed and you had to take a walk. So your brain just had to shut down so it can protect you. You might have to go out and take a walk. And that's okay. But get a card or something that says, hey, we need to talk about this, or let the doctor know we'll be calling you. She may have questions. And that's okay. But we need to communicate whatever that is to you. I know for me, communication for me is through my photos, as you see behind me. This is how I communicate. Sometimes I'm so overwhelmed, I can't even think of the words I want to say. It's just like I'm on mute. I can't get it out. But when I have my camera and I'm looking through the lens of my camera, it speaks for me. My camera have introduced me to things I would have never seen otherwise because it speaks for me. So you need to let people know where you're at, what you're going through, and what you need. Now, that's on the survivors portion. We also need to do the same thing for the caregiver, the loved one, the friend, whoever that may be. If you're taking care of someone, just ask them. If they don't communicate, just ask them, what can I do for you today? Or what do you need? I know sometimes it's hard for caregivers because they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to upset you. And so they're really walking on eggshells around you, but they're trying to be there, but they don't know how to be there, if that makes sense. So you need to tell them, or they need to ask you if you can't speak and say, hey, what do you need me to do today? You want to go for a walk? Anything. But I just want, I guess what I'm trying to say when I talk about communication, communication is not only words. You don't always have to say something. You just try to be there for that person. This is important. Another thing about communication, just be honest. Sometimes, I know for me, sometimes how can I say this? Sometimes for me, let me put it this way. Have you ever thought things you say, or if you ask a question, oh, that's a stupid question. And sometimes people make you feel that way. But when you're on this journey, there is no stupid questions. That question can be a life or death situation. Tell somebody, just be honest. If it's your body image bothering you, it's my body image. If it's your self esteem, it's low, that's okay. Just be honest with yourself and be honest with the person. We're talking specifics now. When I say specifics, they have this website. I forget the name of it, but what it does is you go on, like when I was diagnosed, Cambridge Bridge, I think that's the name of it. And one of my coworkers gave me this and told me to sign on to it. When I signed on to it, it let my loved ones and people around me know what I needed. So they wasn't there in my face, but if I needed something, if I needed somebody to bring me a meal, can you bring me a meal? I need my laundry done, or I need this. Can you come sit with me? Those websites are amazing. You might need a ride. Take the ride. Put it in, communicate however you communicate. Communicate. I believe the name of that website is Cameron Bridge. I'm not sure, but I'll check it out and I'll post it when I find it. But it's a website for caregivers and loved ones that when you need something, you just type it in and somebody will respond. It's a beautiful thing. They have a lot of websites and resources out here for people like us that's going through this. But our thing is we don't communicate what we need. And so sometimes we don't want people to know our story, so we don't have anything to say because we feel like they don't understand. And so where you could have been getting that ride and other things, you don't. And speaking of getting that ride, I just want to pause for a minute and I want you to understand why communication is so important, especially in our communities. We're going to jump to statistics because this is important. Some of you may know this and some of you may not. But Black women are often diagnosed at a younger age in their 30s and 40s. When we're diagnosed, we are diagnosed with the most aggressive cancers like triple negative. That's what I'm diagnosed with, triple negative breast cancer. There's another one out there called inflammation. And if you heard the term HERS 2 and triple negative is about the same thing. Our mortality rate is higher for Black women, even though our counterparts are often diagnosed more than we are. Because of the disparities we have in our communities, our mortality rate is higher. And I know that sounds crazy. And I don't know for the younger generation and for the younger women that's being diagnosed with breast cancer, we have to communicate. Just communicate. These
So,
statistics,
Dolores,
yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
That's okay.
Since you said younger women, what's the youngest that young women should be doing these tests and going and checking themselves with their doctors. What's like
Okay.
something that's more like recommended, if they're 18, 19,
Okay.
if they
Let me
start
let me
that young.
explain. Let
Mm-hmm.
me explain. My daughter was on with me about two shows ago. But anyway, since I'm her mother and I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I had to go in and get the genetic testing, the BRCA1 and 2.
Okay.
When I got the BRCA1 and 2, it says that it wasn't in my family.
Mm.
But as my daughter, she's 34 now, I had to have her go get her test. My doctor told me, since you have been diagnosed, your daughter needs to start taking her mammograms at the age of 30. Normally, if you don't have it in the family, you start at the age of 40.
Okay.
But with breast cancer running so rapid and it's so young, they are so young being diagnosed,
Yeah.
I say go by how you feel.
Okay.
Now, I can't tell you what the law is on that. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just telling you, you know your body better than anybody. So
Exactly.
if you're diagnosed with breast cancer and you have a cousin or a daughter, and it may not even be in that generation, my daughter may not get it. But if she have kids, maybe one of them will get it. We don't know. It don't have to be generation. It can skip a generation. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
That makes sense.
So don't think because your parents didn't have it. My mom didn't have breast cancer, but I got it. I did the genetic testing. It didn't say it was in my family,
Okay.
but I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And so since I've been diagnosed, my daughter needs to be diagnosed at an earlier age. And another thing about that BRCA1 and 2, I'm glad you asked that question, Jovi.
Mm-hmm.
The BRCA1 and 2, I know I have 8 sisters. So altogether, it's 13 of us. I know it's a whole baseball team with some extras, but it's a lot of us. So when I took the BRCA1 and 2, my family members or my sisters didn't have to take it. Once I took it and it gave me the results, I shared it with them. Long
Mm.
as one person in the family takes that test, that genetic testing, everybody don't have to be tested. But you should get a copy of that and keep it because you may need it. You need
Okay.
to share it with your doctor and say, here, my sister had breast cancer and this was the results from the genetic testing. So
Right.
just remember that. Remember, go by how you feel. I know what the law says and what the rules are and the policies, but if you feel something, say something.
Right.
Don't sit back and say, oh, it's not in my family. I thought that.
Mm-hmm.
I really did. And I would go to my appointments and it was like, okay, it's a formality. But then when I was diagnosed, it was like, wait a minute. And my doctor asked me a very interesting question. If you go and take your genetic testing, if you have been diagnosed or if the genetic testing come back and say this gene is in your family,
Mm-hmm.
how would you feel about that? And I thought about it and I said, well, I might be a bit upset. But then she said, but what if it's not in your family and you've been diagnosed with cancer? How would you feel? That stopped me in my tracks. This is the stuff we don't think about.
Right.
We just don't think about it
Mm-hmm.
until it happened. And then we're trying to dig in and find out everything we need to know. So
Right.
these might be some questions you guys want to write down, take to your doctor, talk to your family members, because I know some of us have family that's away and living in other places and we don't know their health history. Everybody don't pick up the phone and say, girl, guess what? No, it doesn't happen that way.
Exactly.
So just call, find out what that history is, especially if you have a relationship with your family members. This is so, so, so important. Not only is it necessary for your family members, but your children.
Right.
And men, I want you guys to know. I was looking at statistics today, and I think out of the men that was diagnosed with breast cancer, because you can be diagnosed with breast cancer, it was like 26,000, and out of the 26,000, uh, uh, it was 1,022 something that came back that was diagnosed. I may have those statistics wrong, but I just want you to know you can be diagnosed too.
Okay.
And the question I have, and maybe somebody can help me with this, if I have a brother or somebody that's been diagnosed with breast cancer, and we all know breast cancer, they look at it as a woman's disease, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if my brother was diagnosed with breast cancer, how does that affect me? These are just questions I have in my mind and I don't have answers to, but I want to throw them out there. Maybe somebody can call and say, hey, you had a question, because I have questions too, because
Right.
I'm doing this live. I don't know everything. I'm learning just like you're learning,
Right.
but I want to give you the information that I had. And especially for the newer diagnosed people, this is important. Okay. Did I answer your question, Joey?
Oh, yes, you did.
Okay. All
Mm-hmm.
right.
No,
Well,
because
if
it's
anybody,
good because a lot of younger women aren't doing the test.
right.
So that's very important for at least to put that out there and letting them know that they should start checking themselves, start looking for any signs or whatnot, and
Yes.
just be aware
Yes.
about your body overall.
Yes. And that you bring up some good points, Joey, because another thing I'm finding with the younger generation, especially when they're diagnosed at an early age, like 20, 25, 26. The ladies, don't think this doesn't happen. It happens.
Hmm.
You can be diagnosed 25, 26, maybe 30. I know I was diagnosed at 54, but
Okay.
they're coming so much younger behind us when they're diagnosed at that age. I was working, I was a resource. I'm sorry, guys, my mind is just gone today. But anyway, what I'm trying to say, the younger women that I found or encountered, when they're diagnosed, this one young lady, she was 21 years old. Joey, I think I told you this. She had a 5-year-old daughter, but she
Hmm.
did not want to be going through the treatment. She didn't want to do the chemo. She didn't want to do. First of all, before you make a decision like that, find out what your staging is.
Right.
Find out if it's stage 1 or 2, or if it's 3 or 4. You need to know that.
Right.
1 and 2, your options are pretty good. Don't just throw in the towel because you're afraid. It's one thing to be afraid, but it's another thing to let that fear stagnate you to where you can't move.
Right.
I'm afraid,
Hmm.
but I do what I have to do because that's important.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So just think about that, ladies. And I don't want to get too far in that because I'm not a researcher either. And again, this is my experience, what I experience and what I go through. So I just want you guys to be aware.
No, absolutely.
Sometimes, as well, not only do we do not communicate, communication is key. There is certain ways that you can communicate to your loved ones about what you're going through. Like I said, mine is photography. Some people just get silent. Some people write a note or leave a note somewhere,
Right.
because they think nobody understand, and that's not true. When I first went to my breast cancer group, the way I communicated, I would show my scars. So, girl, look at, and that's what we do in in these support groups.
Hmm.
So when you find a support group, find somebody or a support group that represents who you are. I've been to plenty, but I wasn't comfortable there. They didn't understand my culture and I didn't understand theirs, and it was just more confusing than it was helpful.
Right.
So I kept going until I found a support group that fit me.
Right.
Okay. Talking about these disparities again, it's just overwhelming. And I don't know if you guys even, probably not, but we need to educate ourselves on this and look at this stuff. Talk to people in our communities. If you have somebody in your family that's going through this, say something. Most of the time, family members when you're diagnosed with breast cancer, and I know me and my sister, we go through this a lot. Why don't you get up and go out? Sometimes I just don't want to get out.
Right.
And I go through this in my community.
And we were
Some
talking
days
about this last night. So the main thing was like about that Bible verse when you're in the fire and you look good on the outside, but
that's
in
what I was
inside,
getting.
right?
Exactly. Exactly. And people see you. Oh, you look good. And, oh, you don't look nothing like you what you've been through. You may not look it, but you feel it.
Hmm.
And because I look good, don't mean like every day I'm able to get up and run around and do this, do that, and the other. It's some days I can't get out the bed.
Right.
So when you say that, you don't know what that individual is going through. I mean, most of my pictures I've taken, those pictures was taken during COVID. Thank God, because I haven't took a picture since.
Hmm.
You know, I was here. I had nothing to do, and now that I'm working and doing this and doing that and the other, and the cancer came back for a third time, I'm exhausted. I
Hmm.
may appear like I'm okay. When I go out and do pictures or do a job or something like that, I get the job done. But the next day, all I can do is lay down.
Right.
That's all I can do is sleep. Are you hungry? No, I don't want to eat. I think I told you guys I went to my doctor and they were telling me that I had lost some weight. It wasn't a significant amount of weight, but it was noticeable. I didn't think anything of it because I've been in this place before.
Yeah.
But the nurse, she came to me, Miss King, you're losing weight. Have you been monitoring your weight? I mean, and she went out, I'll be back. She went and called my doctor to find out, okay, we're going to have to do something with her medicine. We're going to have to drop the medicine because we don't want her to overdose and make a big thing. And I'm glad they did. Don't get me wrong, that's their job. I would feel, I don't know how I would feel if they weren't doing their job. So that was, I guess, what she was supposed to do. But
Right.
I talked to my doctor, and as long as you're working out and you're trying to eat right and you're trying to lose weight, it's okay. But you need to tell them. When I talk about communication, we communicate. We need to communicate it with everybody, your caregiver, your family, your loved ones, whoever it is. But most of us feel like that's none of their business.
Right.
And we want to stay private.
And it's
You
true
know,
though, because I
it's
even feel
very
that way
true.
sometimes.
I know
Because
it's true because you're
you
talking
know,
to me. That was me. You
you
just
keep
want to
things
stay
like,
private.
okay, it's just this is my business, right? So,
Nobody's business. But I wasn't healing in private.
right.
I didn't start healing until I picked up that camera, got out there, and started socializing and talking and telling people what I was going through. That's
Mhm.
when the healing started for me.
Okay.
But me sitting in this house, I woke up every day. I'm crying most of the time. You feel, I hate the word depressed, but that's how you feel. You don't want to do anything. Nobody understand. Don't nobody come see me. Don't call. It's just, it's communication is just key. And we
Right.
just really, really, really need to communicate. And while we're talking about communication, I always put some questions in here because I really want to hear from you guys. And I'm really, really hoping somebody respond to these questions
Okay.
because they can help a lot of people. This question is for the survivor. And what is the one thing you wish your family, I'm sorry, what is the one thing you wish your family better understood about your journey? What is that one thing? Want them to understand what you're going through? And just remember while you're asking these questions, you got to understand if you don't tell them what you're going through, how can they understand?
Right.
My only other question I have, this is for the loved one or the caregiver. What is one challenge you faced in trying to support someone going through cancer? What was that challenge? Was it because the person didn't communicate, didn't say what they needed or what they wanted, or they just mean and it's not they're being mean, it's they're scared,
Right.
they're afraid, they don't know how to communicate that. So it comes out in their actions. Like my
Exactly.
daughter said, sometimes your feelings as the caregiver is going to have to be put on the back burner.
Hmm.
And so they may not get what you're going through. And that's why it's important for both of you guys to communicate. Because when you communicate, it not only helps the survivor, it helps you.
Right.
It helps everyone. It helps the family. But then you have some families, they don't, I like to think it is they don't know how to handle that. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to handle it when you come to them and say, hey, I know for me, I communicated with my family and I said, hey guys, I've been diagnosed with cancer. I told them the first time I was diagnosed. Uh, I told them the second time I was diagnosed. And by the time I got to the third time I was diagnosed, I got a message, text saying nobody wants to hear that shit.
Oh, wow.
And that's what I got. So God put people in your place when you don't know you need that space. You don't know what you need. But somebody comes in. Jovi, I talk about you a lot because you was that somebody for me that stepped up and said, hey, we're going to help you with this. And I'm like, but Jovi, I can't pay you. You say it's not about that. It's not about that. And so these are things that we have to be. If I didn't communicate that to her, she wouldn't have, she would, I mean,
I wouldn't have known.
exactly. You wouldn't have
So,
known. You wouldn't know what I was trying to do. You came over, you start taking pictures, you started doing my wall. You just jumped in there with both feet. Never met me before.
but this is your mission. And I
This
see the
is.
mission that you have.
This
This is
is.
your purpose.
And
So
I
I
believe
see
that.
that and I see you. And that's the main thing.
I see that.
So so that's the main thing, when God tells you to do something, you got to do it.
You
There
have
ain't
to
no
be
ands,
obedient.
ifs, or
I
buts
see
about
that.
it.
I see that. And me starting this live, I just wanted people to communicate. Communication is big. You see me out, I'm always talking. When I get home, I don't want to talk. I talk on my job. I'm on the phone all day. When I
Right.
get off work, I don't want to talk. But we have to communicate. Tell somebody what you're going through, guys. Please, please, please. It's going to help you. It's going to help them. It helps the community. I mean, and those caregivers, loved ones out there, get involved. Find out what's in your community. Find out what resources there are. Because
Right.
there's a lot of resources out here. They have resources for young breast cancer survivors. They have resources for metastatic breast cancer. They have resources for this, resources for that. But you have to look into it. And if I
Exactly.
run across any resources, I'll be sure to post them on my Facebook business page, Living Through
Exactly.
the Lens.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys are like and following my page so we can keep up with each other. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to say something. Say something. If you don't want to be on the live, just inbox me and Jovi and say, hey, she
These are
asked
my
this question, whatever, whatever, and I want to respond. I'm
exactly.
sorry, Jovi. Go ahead.
No, no, that's what I'm agreeing with you because a lot of people don't understand or don't know that there are some resources out there. Um, and going through your journey, you know, going step by step, like
Mm-hmm.
you're doing the right steps. You're working
Mm-hmm.
out, you're eating clean, you're changing little baby steps at a
Yeah.
time. Baby
Yes.
steps. And that's what
Yes.
a lot of people don't understand. Like they get frustrated or whatnot. But when you do baby steps and you go on forward, even if you get set back a little bit, move forward again.
But
Step forward.
the key
Mhm.
to that is consistency.
There you go.
Consistency is the key. And you're gonna fall down. But
Yeah,
don't stay down. Get up.
exactly.
I got up 3 times. 3 times. I had to rebuild everything about me and find out who I was again. The first time, I just wanted to get through the treatment, get past this so I can get back to me.
Right.
Come to find out, what is normal? What is get back to me? What do that mean? You will never get back to that person you was before you was diagnosed. And each time I was diagnosed, I learned something different about me. I
Right.
tell everybody today, if you knew me back then, I am not the person I was back then.
Right.
I say what I mean what I say. Life is short. We don't have time to be kicking it.
Right.
You can kick it on somebody else's time, but not on mine.
Right.
I mean, it's serious out here, guys. People are being diagnosed every day. And if they're not being diagnosed, they're being shot. You got one life, live it to the fullest. Be happy. You can't get there if you don't communicate and tell somebody. That one
Right.
person you tell might be the person that come through and pick you up out the gutter and say, hey, I got a place for you. But you don't know that if you don't say anything.
Right.
Okay, y'all can tell I'm passionate about this because
That's
I've
good.
been through the ringer and back, and I'm still here. I'm still living. I'm still fighting. And don't give up on the fight. Just be consistent. Just be consistent. When Jovi talked about the little steps, yeah, I don't go to the gym like I should, but because I missed today, I'm not gonna feel bad and don't go the rest of the week. You
Exactly.
just get up and you just start over. God gave you that day to start it. Get up and move.
Right.
Don't just lay there. But before I close this, I do have something to say, and I just want to talk about the disparities that I talked about earlier, because there were some things I left out. We talked about the black women being diagnosed even younger, 18, 19. We also talked about uh, how survivorship doesn't end when treatment
Right.
ends. We also need to be honest with ourselves. If you can't be honest with nobody else, be honest with yourself. Be specific on what you're talking about. If you need something from somebody, be specific as much as you can. Like I said, sometimes we can't find the words. We get choked up. I know for me, every time I said the word cancer, I would cry. I can be watching, and I know I'm not the only one. Watch this. When I'm watching TV, everybody knows Chicago Med. I cannot watch Chicago Med because every time that show come on, it's a cancer patient. And 9 times out of 10, the cancer patient then died. So
Mm.
I can't watch them type of shows. So you have
Mm.
to just be honest with yourself. Don't sit there and suffer through something that you don't want to go through. You don't have to go through it. You are the
Exactly.
ruler or you. And if somebody comes and they want to watch that, if that's what they want to watch, fine. Pull out your phone, go to another room. You just don't want to watch that.
Right.
And I guess what I'm saying and all is just be mindful when you, especially loved ones and stuff. I know for my daughter, me and her should sit and veg out, but I was lucky. Me and her hated the same things. I don't want scary movies, none of that. And we just sit down and talk and eat. But back to where I'm going, because I didn't went all the way over here. Start conversation, guys. Just start conversation. Caregivers, listen to what your survivors have to say. Survivors, consider the caregiver. To me, that's very important because you guys are taking care of each other. And the caregivers, while you out here taking care of each other, be sure to take care of yourself emotionally and mentally
Right.
because we take this stuff home with us. When you can't find the words, write something down. If it's just a little note, I need help, or I'm hungry, whatever the case may be, write it down. If you like photography or whatever, I always mention photography because y'all know that's my thing. But it helps me communicate. So just find the way you communicate. Let the loved one find the way they communicate. Sometimes we communicate just sitting there in that moment, just holding hands.
Right.
or hugging someone to say it's going to be okay. We're communicating. Doesn't always have to be verbal.
Right.
So I just want you guys to know that I'm going to shut it down now. It's been 35 minutes because y'all know I can talk all day. Joby, I just want to say thank you for being here with me this week because last week was terrible. So
Oh no.
I'm going to get off. I thank you guys for joining me. I hope you got something from this live. If you have any questions or if you want to respond to the two questions I gave you guys, please, 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 we need to hear from you guys. We need to hear from you guys so we can better know what content, what directions we should be going.
Right.
Maybe I'm talking about something you guys don't want to hear, you don't need to hear. But I don't know what you want to hear if you don't tell me.
Right.
So please, 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 just put it out there. It's not about my story. This is all of our stories. We all have the same story and just going in different directions. So if you have anything you want to talk about, feel free to throw some suggestions in the comments and we'll take a look at it and see where we go from there. But in the meanwhile, I want to say thank you guys so much. I love you and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Yes. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yes, ma'am.